Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Have you ever taken a personal inventory of your contributions? How you show up in the world is how I define competition. What you put out into the world is, of course, what we give back. We don't always realize that, but it totally is. And so this is day 1626 of just documenting my journey, my mostly online journey, but as I've transitioned from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online business, I like to, and a few years ago I became legally blind, and I needed to find a way to document things and keep track of my journey without having to write it all down, because it's kind of a pain for me to have to go back and try to read the things that I write down. Now, I still write things down because it helps my brain to remember them, and the worse my vision gets, the more I need to put things in my brain where I can retrieve them and remember them. So today we're taking stock in, or taking inventory out for Supersize Your Business, our contribution as a business as well as personally. How do we contribute to the world? How do we make the world a better place? Because that's always my focus. And how do we show up? And I shared 6 tips on how to take a life assessment or a life personal inventory, but we want to focus on the area of contribution, how we're showing up in the world. We've done it in different areas. We've taken a little personal inventory of how am I showing up physically, and how am I taking care of myself? What is my physical well-being? What's my personal inventory for that? What's my personal inventory for my mental well-being, my thoughts and beliefs and my mindset? What's my personal inventory? How am I showing up for my spiritual well-being, my relationships, my etc. So this month we're focusing on contributions. So our idiom for today was to take stock or take inventory, and that's one that's been around since the 15th century. And so it's impacted a lot of things, because even back in the olden days, people needed to know what they had on hand so they knew what they had to sell, right? If they knew they had so much of a crop, that's all they had to sell, but they could plan ahead and know, okay, well, this is enough for me to live for the season, or it's not, etc. So people have been counting and taking inventory in that sense of their physical assets for a long, long time. And so I shared some tips on, and just one experience with taking inventory. I've done inventory for literally dozens of different types of businesses. I have actually physically participated in counting stock in a lot of different businesses. We did it in fireworks, we did it in which is a retail business. We did it in liquor, which was a retail wholesale business. I've done it for manufacturing companies. I will contend manufacturing companies are the hardest, because we've got so much, we have so many different levels of stock and different categories of stock. I guess probably Walmart or one of those, Amazon or something, one of those giant companies would be harder to do it than I've had to experience. But I actually used to do a physical inventory of our freezer every week for the Italian food manufacturing business. I or someone else in the business would do it. Every single week we needed to go in and count and know exactly what we had on hand, so we knew what we had to make for the next week's orders, etc. It's a small Italian food manufacturing, handmade Italian food company we ran for, 35 years I was involved in that business. I miss it, but I don't miss it, if that makes any sense. So today, take stock in how you show up in the world. Be specific, be realistic, be understanding with yourself, be accountable. If you say you're going to do something and you didn't do it, just say, hey, I didn't do this, maybe I can get better next time. And I'm sure there's a reason you didn't do it, or an excuse, but make sure then that we're carefully committing next time. Be flexible, be positive. Look for what you are doing, not what you're not doing. Never compare yourself to other people when you're doing a personal inventory. And then you can seek out, and I did share 4 different free online assessments that you can do nowadays with the internet. It's so much easier. I remember taking the old Myers-Briggs test with the dot forms, and you'd send it in and they'd mail you your results early on before the internet existed. And now it's so easy. There's a lot of different free sites. You can just Google free personality tests, free assessment, free interest tests, etc. And you have to be careful, because sometimes they'll all try to upsell you, right? It's an introductory offer to something else, but you don't have to buy it. You don't have to take that and do that offer. You're probably gonna have to share your email, so if you have a problem with that, then probably not going to take a personality test, which would tell you something about your personality if you have a problem with giving your email away these days, because that's like just the minimum barrier to entry, the minimum entry fee, right? It's just to share one little piece of your information. I think it's good advice, and I've never really done it or taken it, but we should have a separate email that all of the things that we sign up for goes to instead of our primary email. Because my primary email, and of course, again, given my vision challenges, I think I've got 54,000 items in my inbox at like any given time. It used to be 48,000, but then I had some challenges and slipped on it and didn't check it. Now, if you want me to see an email, you better call or text me and tell me you've got an email coming for me that is very important, or I'm probably not going to see it for maybe even months after you send it. So I am definitely not an email peruser. I don't check my email every day. I only check it when I know I need to verify something. So I love email, but but each of us have different ways of communicating, and email is no longer my favorite way to communicate because of personal reasons, right? Personal reasons, and that's what everything is always. We do everything because of personal reasons, and we set up our life so it works for us. So take inventory, take stock, do a personal assessment of how you think you're doing. How do you think you're showing up in the world right now? I think every once in a while we should ask ourselves that question. Am I making the world a better place? Am I making the world not a better place? Am I just existing, maybe doing better than you ever have, and then that makes the world a better place? But if you're just existing, we can always challenge ourselves to do a little bit better, right? A little bit better, a little bit better. That's why we're doing the annual challenge, because we just want to get a little bit better every day. And that doesn't have to be in giant ways. Little things that we do have a cumulative effect. So if I'm consciously saying, I'm going to do something today to be better than I was yesterday, I get to pick what area and aspect that is for my life. But this month we just happen to be focusing on how am I showing up in the world? What am I contributing? How am I adding value? How can I be of service to other people? To me, those are all definitions of contribution. So if I spend my time and energy with people, if I donate to charity, if I help out with something, with a project or something, if I share something for free, if I give value to the world in some way, shape, or form, then I am contributing. And you just get to define that for yourself. So I'm going to go contribute and get some things done today. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Go see what you can do to make the world a better place.